and Robert Scott started WRK. Will was here talking to the class earlier, and then Brett West is our project director, and he was here at the first class talking about this. So I'll first go through the vision and design concept for Canopy Street, and this is how the project came about. I'll start with the vision. Canopy Street is a unique entertainment, shopping, living, and working district in Lincoln. It's a place where locals meet and invite guests to experience your city. So with Canopy Street, we're really trying to make that main hub in Lincoln where people want to go not just Friday and Saturday nights, but they want to go there every night. If they have a guest coming to Lincoln, then that's where they're going to tell them to go. We talked about making it an area for different festivals. If college game day would come to town, this is the place where we want them to go. So we want this to be the central hub where everything's happening, where all the restaurants are, all the nightlife places are. Obviously, there's still going to be O Street, and we want O Street to be there, but this is going to be like the go-to place. So our brand ingredients. As you can see, the bold concepts, appropriately scaled. Obviously, we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. We can't do something that would be in New York City's Times Square. It's probably not going to work here. So bringing in some different concepts and retailers, restaurants, bars that would be a great fit for Lincoln. We're not trying to recreate Times Square. Warm and inviting. We want a place where everyone feels welcome. You know, Lincoln's a small town. People go to places because they feel welcome. A place like a Cheers where everyone knows your name, and that's kind of what we're hoping to build with Canopy Street. We need a place that can be open 365 days a year. As you know, in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's difficult at times just because we have snow and ice and rain and everything that goes with that. So we want to be able to create an environment where people can come down. If it's snowing, we'll have an ice skating rink so people can enjoy that. If it's raining, then there's interior spots where they can go and hang out as well. The it place. So as I said before, we want Canopy Street to be the place where people go. And the perfect marriage, connecting the arena, which is a huge project, connecting that with Canopy Street. So if there's a concert, say Justin Bieber's playing, we want to have something going on at Canopy Street that matches that, and then an area afterwards that people can go to the concert and come back, and there'll be something similar to that that would match that. Justin Bieber is probably not a great example, but like a Keith Urban or something, we want a concert to be going on before that's a country type concert, and then afterwards filling that gap after people are done and out. They don't necessarily want to go home, so having something that fills that time period for them. So those are our brand ingredients. Get out of this.
I haven't played with that thing, so.
Okay. The project drivers. As you can see, we will be successful when you can't talk about Lincoln without mentioning Canopy Street. This goes for places like Madison, Wisconsin, if you've ever been there. I lived in Madison for 2 years, and that was one thing that anytime someone would come visit, we would go to State Street, because that was the place to go, and this is what we want Lincoln to have as well, Canopy Street. Again, as I mentioned before, we want our tenants to be busy on Mondays and in February. As you can see right now, it's cold. I guess Valentine's Day is a little exception because people go out and do things for that, but typically in February, you're not seeing many people out and about on Monday, Tuesday night going to these different restaurants. We want to make sure that we capture those people. Again, a lot of these are similar things that I've talked about. The ESPN game day, we want this to be the place where people come for outside events featuring Lincoln. I don't know if you guys are familiar with watching sporting events, and they'll show things around Lincoln or Nebraska, and it's like cornfields and stuff. I have friends that live in New York City, and when I go to visit them, they ask if I ride my horse around, and I don't have a horse. So kind of fixing those perceptions that the outside world has in regards to Nebraska. And then again, everyone views Canopy Street as a place where you take your out-of-town guests. So our customer profiles. Canopy Street's open to everyone. We want everyone to be able to enjoy it, but when developing our brand concept, we really were focusing on 3 different groups. As you can see, the one group, Roxanne and Paul, the young professionals, 25 to 34. You know, I fit in that range, and a lot of my friends and I, we don't have places to go on the weekend because we don't fit in at the brass rail anymore, unfortunately, or the rail, or the bar. Places like that, we just don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. So filling that void that Lincoln has, you know, out south there's lots of places that we can go to, but we don't necessarily want to be out south. So bringing everyone, all the young professionals, back into one place where they feel comfortable, where there's lots of things to do, and then in a variety of different things that they can do. Betty and Luke, that would be you guys, the college-age students. Obviously, with Lincoln, there's a huge drive with the university. We want you guys to be able to come down here and enjoy it just as much as anyone else. But we do know that you guys like the rail and the bar, and it's great, and I love that too. And having both options is going to be a great thing for everyone. And then the older group, which is the 35 to 59, you know, they have a higher income. They want a place where they can go down and maybe not act like they're college students, but feel like they're, you know, younger. They have kids. They want to get away from work and kids and have a place where they can just go in and enjoy that. So those are our demographics. Does anyone have any questions about anything that I'm covering? If you have any questions, just shout. So when developing our brand, we went through a lot of different images, and I think that this is probably one of the most helpful things because it helps you narrow down what you really like and what you don't like. And so as you can see, we tried to pull some different images that we really liked and that we really wanted to focus on for Canopy Street. So the public market, if you've ever been to Seattle, they have a huge Pike's Place public market, which is really cool, something different that most Midwest cities don't have. So we're hoping to integrate something like that into Canopy Street. Again, something very similar to that, the picture next to it with the farmer's market. We wanted to be able to bring Lincoln's already existing farmer's market, which is great. If you haven't been down, I highly suggest it. Bringing that into Canopy Street and incorporating it. We want to be able to bring in some new retail. People ask me all the time, is a Forever 21 coming downtown? Is an H&M coming in downtown? Probably not, just because if you don't see it in Omaha, chances are Lincoln's not going to be their first stop for Nebraska. But we do hope to bring in some more of those boutique-like businesses, soft goods that we don't necessarily have in Lincoln right now. So again, some more likes. This is Power and Light in Kansas City. If you've ever been there before, Canopy Street's going to be very comparable to that, just on a smaller scale.
How many of you have been to to Power and Light in Kansas City? Which of them? So that's good.
It's a fun spot. So we're hoping to incorporate some of that, and I'll show you some of the things that we're doing to try to pull that in Canopy Street later. Cafes, cool places where people can go. We're not trying to bring in Applebee's or anything like that. We want unique concepts that are a little different for Lincoln. And this is New York, where they bring in tents and have a eating area, and we just want it to be an open concept where people feel welcome and they can just kind of wander around.
What's the name of the company then?
WRK.
Do you guys own the land already?
So we had the land where it was built was actually railroad tracks, so we acquired that from the city. So, and unfortunately Will's not here. He can answer a lot more about that than I can. But yeah, so they acquired that. They applied for a proposal that the city requested from other developers around the city, around the state, and they were accepted. So they were able to do that. So these are some of our dislikes, things that we just didn't really appeal to us. Something that's uber contemporary, that's not really necessarily the downtown Haymarket feel. We wanted to try to not match it, but add to it. And you can see some of these other. This is obviously a little too industrial. Same goes for this. We don't want, I don't know what this one is. The Chicago Lodge. We definitely don't want that. Just your average, this reminds me of New York City where they have just kind of gross food places along the streets and drugstores, things like that. We didn't want to bring anything like that where it just doesn't fit into the landscape. So again, some of our dislikes. So this is the area study that was done. I have some better renderings for you that I can show you. This is the Lincoln train station. This is the rail yard. It was originally called the yard, but unfortunately Omaha has another place called the yard, so we now call ours the rail yard. And then I will go through some of these. This is our Canopy Lofts area, and our hotel and condos will be right here. And then obviously the arena's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the other presentation. So this is more of what I do. I focus on all the branding, marketing, things like that for Canopy Street. We work with Thought District here in Lincoln, if you're familiar with them. They do really, really great things, and they help us with all of our branding for each location on Canopy Street. So this is our brand board that they came up with. This is probably one of my favorite images that we have, just because I think it really speaks to what we're trying to accomplish with Canopy Street. You know, all these cool different colors and all of these cool different, more abstract pictures. You know, we're not trying to, like I said, bring in a lot of fast food, your sit down and dine, Applebee's type places. We're trying to bring in more unique things that cater to a wide audience of people. So this is a more up-to-date drawing of Canopy Street. As I said before, this is the train station that I'm not sure what their plans are for that. We don't own that property. So I know that they've talked about converting some of it to office space. There is some office space in it now, but just updating it and making it a little bit more modern. This is the Iron Horse Park that's there right now. That is where the train brick mural is, if you're familiar with that. Right across the street from this will be the rail yard. The rail yard will be a mixture of 6 to 8 restaurants and bars. In this middle area, there's going to be an open plaza, so during the summertime we can have concerts, we can have movie nights, we can have yoga in the yard. There's all kinds of different things we can do with that. And during the wintertime, it will be an ice skating rink, so that'll be really cool. This area right here, we can actually close down 50 times a year. So if there's something going on at the arena, most likely we'll have that closed down, and it can be this giant open space where people can walk around. This is something that's new to the state of Nebraska, an entertainment district, and that's similar to what Power and Light is, where you can walk from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant with your alcohol, and you can just kind of wander, which is a really cool concept, something that Nebraska has never had before, so it'll be really cool to see that happen. The lofts, I don't know, have any of you heard of Canopy Lofts? Have any of you emailed me about Canopy Lofts? No? Okay. So Canopy Lofts are 71 loft-style apartments, 203 beds. Those will come online in August. August 1st, we'll start allowing people to move into those. We'll actually start leasing for Canopy Lofts this next week. So I know, do you have a question?
No, I was going to ask, how does it work specifically with people underage for those nights where you were even talking, where everyone can walk around with drinks in their hands?
So there'll be specific events that if you're not 21 of age, you won't be able to come into the rail yard. So.
Because what I understand is they'll block it off similar to
We'll
like
block it off, so there'll be
Rib
these, like,
Fest and...
Yep, there'll be gates of some sort. We're hoping that they're not like the ugly gates that you see at Rib Fest. But, yeah, unfortunately for things like that, we can't have minors in the area. Yep.
Where did I go to find out more about the lofts?
If you go to canopyst.com.
Does it have to be all people of age to live in the loft?
You have to be 18 or older.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm assuming all of you are
Yeah.
18. So so 18, if you're under the age of 23, you have to have a cosigner